So what is The Straight? Well, The Straight's a subscription-based digital publication for those involved in the thoroughbred industry. The Straight is the decisive point of any racing contest. It's where the winners are decided, it's where the losers are consigned. We want to be there at the decisive moments in the broader thoroughbred industry. And the decisive moment on the track is in The Straight. And that's where the name came from. But it also has a dual meaning. In an industry which can be complex and sometimes a bit tricky, being straightforward and straight up with our audience is what we want to be. We want to give it to you straight. We want people to understand what we're trying to do in a very straightforward manner. And that feeds into that notion of what The Straight is. My name's Brendan O'Brien. I'm the founder of The Straight. And I've always had a vision for a professional level coverage of the thoroughbred industry. I've got a great understanding of how this industry works and what's lacking out there in the media landscape. So what's the need for The Straight? Well, first, it's a complex industry and it requires a professional level of coverage in order to deal with that complexity. What happens in the breeding industry affects what happens in the wagering industry. It affects what happens in the racing industry. They're all interdependent, despite the fact that in many ways they operate independently of one another. I think the most important thing about The Straight from a personal point of view is that in the conversations I have with industry leaders is that there's a real desire there for independent media coverage. The current media landscape is quite conflicted, and what The Straight aims to do is cut through that and provide genuine independent analysis, news and features. Our audience is anyone who's working professionally in the broader thoroughbred and racing industry. It could be someone working in a stable, it could be someone working in a wagering company, it could be someone who's involved in a stallion farm, it could be an investor, it could be an owner, it could be a syndicator. We want people who really are curious about what's going on across the thoroughbred industry and really want to keep themselves informed. This is an industry of complexity and nuance, and it really demands complex and nuanced thinking about how we approach our journalism. And I think the broader media industry has tended to go towards a trend of headlines and clickbait and all that type of stuff and driving traffic for the sake of traffic. It takes time to develop good quality feature stories. And we're going to take our time to do that, but we're also going to build stories which are memorable and timeless, and which you can read this week, you can read next week, you can read in 3 months' time, and they add value to what you're trying to do. What will make us successful is if we're influencing the broader debate and understanding about the thoroughbred industry. We're trying to shape the industry going forward with the way we cover it, and that people feel more informed with what we're doing. And if we're doing that, and we're building an audience and building engagement and building membership, then that to me is the most successful thing we can do.